Hi there, a little short story. It's one of Aesop's fables. Fables are very short tales where animals or inanimate objects take over human characteristics. And at the end, there's a moral or a lesson. And whoever got involved with fables and writing them decided that it was probably more palatable, more enjoyable, perhaps more memorable if the characters, instead of humans, were animals. Or again, objects, as in this case. The one I'll be doing for you is called The North Wind and the Sun. The North Wind and the Sun were having an argument, and the North Wind and the Sun agreed to a competition. The Sun said, "I have this in mind. Do you see that traveler walking down below there? Well, let's do this, North Wind. Whoever can make him take his coat off will be the stronger." "Whoa! I am the stronger by far." "Well, we shall see," said the Sun. And so the North Wind blew his cold wind, blew, harder, harder. The bullying wind continued. And instead of making the man take off his cloak, he wrapped it more tightly around him. Because, in fact, it could not blow off. It was so cold, he just wrapped it more tightly around him. Now, this was a cloak, which is kind of a cape with no sleeves in it. And now he tried again. Louder, more forcefully. The fierce wind seemed to not be able to do this. And so the Sun said, "Now it's my turn." And off the Sun went. And she stretched her rays high, 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 and wide, wide, wide. And the wider they got, the higher they got, the warmer they got. So you can imagine that down below, it was getting quite warm for the weary traveler. So he decided to take his cloak off after a while. The rays of the sun became too warm. And he folded it up, put it under a tree, and settled down to have a nap. Now, the Sun turned to the North Wind and said, "So then, it appears I am the stronger." And the embittered wind, absolutely ashamed, of course, flew off, blowing way over the mountains. Now, that is the end of that story. It is very short, and it has a lesson or a moral. They are the same. The word moral, you might have heard this way. And that is the moral of the story. At any rate, how about something like, always be kind and warm to whoever you meet? Or the more traditional one that actually went along with this story long, long ago was, gentle persuasion will always be more effective than brutal force. Now, Aesop was a slave who lived over 3,000 years ago in Greece. And he was known to be such a good storyteller that he became very popular. And so he seemed to rise himself up in position to tell stories and entertain people. Now, these stories were written long ago, so long ago. They were only written down, actually written down, until 300 years after Aesop died. And so, you can look him up, Aesop, Aesop. And this one was The North Wind and the Sun. So bye for now. Stories from a Quilted Planet.